So tonight we're going to be working on the first part of a two-part training. And tonight we're going to focus on just creating the blog, connecting it to a website, and then going through some of the settings that you can go through to set up your feed page, to set up your post page, and then some basic settings that you can go through as you're setting everything up. Next week, part 2, we're going to actually go through and look at those blog elements, which allows you to take the blog to the next level, because then you can put a blog element on any page that you want to, not just on the feed page or the post page. So we've got a lot to cover tonight, and we'll cut it short a little bit earlier tonight than usual, and we'll finish up next week and work on those elements. Are you guys ready to dig in? All right, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So let me get all ready to do that. Let me shut down the items that we don't need so we don't stress out our computer. All righty, and I'm going to holler real quick. So I'm going to turn off my microphone so I don't holler in your ear. My cat is hollering to go outside, so hang on for just a second. All right, so my husband's taking care of the cat, and let's go ahead and jump in and work on creating a blog. So I'm going to share my screen just like this, and we're just going to go into Cheetah, and we're going to create our blog from scratch. So I'm going to jump in here to Cheetah, and we're going to create a new website. So I'm going to create a new website, and I'm going to call this Tuesday Night Blog Training, and then we'll just copy that and put it into the description as well. And you can choose to go with a blank template, which means there's nothing in that template, or you can go with a template that has a bunch of content in there already. For me, I'm just going to create a blank site so you guys can see everything going on. So I'm going to click blank, and now we have a new website. So it's a brand spanking new website, and it's come up with just the home page. I want you to notice that only the home page is there. Now I'm going to go ahead and publish this because when I set up the blog, I'm going to hit republish a lot. You'll see me hit that a few times to publish the things that I'm doing in the blog. So we've got one page, it's a home page. And if I scroll down here, I can see the blog on the left-hand side. So I'm going to click blog. And you can see I've got several blogs. I've been playing with the blog settings and stuff like that. So I've got several blogs that I've made, a couple of blogs that are actually going to go active. But for you guys, I'm going to do just a brand spanking new blog. So I'm going to click new blog. And we're going to call this Tuesday Night Blog Training. It's creative, I know. And then we'll copy that and put it into the description. And then we'll just use the default thumbnail, but I can use any thumbnail I want. I can click this button and change the image and put a different thumbnail in there if I want to. If we want to do that tonight, we'll just keep it just like that. And I'm going to click save. And now what happens is I've got my brand new blog right here. And because we clicked out of it from our website, I know some people are thinking that it's connected, but we actually haven't connected the blog yet. This blog is just kind of a blog hanging out there nowhere. It's not connected to anything yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to click edit blog. And now when we go to edit our blog, we've got several items on this left-hand side menu. The important one is to actually click connect. That's what we want to do, is we want to click connect. When we click connect, it's going to give us all of our websites that we have, which I have a whole lot of them. And we just created that brand new website, which is Tuesday Night Blog Training, which is right there. So I'm going to click connect. And here I can choose to connect a blank template. And when they say blank template, you guys, they mean completely blank, as in not even the feed element or the post element is in there. So you can choose a blank template, or you can choose a template that already exists. It's already got some of the elements in there. For now, I would definitely choose the template that's there, not the blank one, because you'll have to build it literally from scratch if you choose blank. So go ahead and choose the template and then choose select. And now what we've done is we've connected this blog to our website. What's interesting, and let me look at your eyeballs with this, you can actually connect one blog to multiple websites. Isn't that interesting? So you can have, like, let's say that you're specialized in the niche market of maybe a restaurant and, or no, hair salons. Hair salons is a good one. So maybe you're in the niche of hair salons and you want to be able to build websites for hair salons. And you're like, hey, I can do a blog on hair salons and I can make it generic, a generic hair salon blog. Like how do you care for your hair? How do you care for your face? How do you care for your nails? All that kind of stuff. So you can actually make a, let me find my, there we go. So you can make a generic blog on hair care, facial care, nail care, that kind of stuff. And then when you create the websites for these hair salons, you can say, I have a pre-made blog that we can connect to your website. Isn't that cool, you guys? Because now you can do several hair salons, but have one blog that connects to all of them, and just have it generic so that when they have the menu on their website, they click blog and there's the hair care blog or the skincare or all of the above care, right? So that's the coolness behind it, is you can actually connect one blog to multiple websites. Greg, you got a question?
Yeah, if you do that, will any of the links go back to the individual site that is using the blog?
It probably will not. And what you can do is on your newsfeed page and on your post page, you can have a global header so that when that header is on there, you can put the menu going back to your website.
Okay.
So yeah, you can. It's really cool how it's working. Bonnie, go ahead.
Just wondering how Google reacts to multiple blogs that it would be the same. So it's the same content in different places. Is that an issue at all? I don't know.
If it's going to be for like 100,000 websites or even 1,000 websites, maybe Google would be like, hey, there's something going on here. But I can't imagine that you would do a whole heck of a lot of hair salons and have all the same blogs connected to all those hair salons.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that Google would ding you if you're doing just a collection of them, 10, 20, 30 even. But if you get up to 100, then Google's going to be like, wait, these guys have the same content. But I just can't see Google dinging you for a normal, respectable amount of sites that have the same blog.
And I guess you'd have to watch where the links were going within your blogs. Like if you were sending your link to a different place on your website, then you couldn't share that blog.
Yeah.
The first one's guy, and the other people wouldn't be really happy about that.
Well, I think that the fact that we can connect it to more than one website opens up a whole lot of possibilities. Because there's lots of places out there like doctors' offices, dentists, chiropractors, lawyers. A lot of those websites, if you go to those websites, they connect to just a generalized blog to give you law information or dental information on how to take care of your teeth. So this is a really interesting way to create a blog that's a very generic blog, yet it can be used on many different websites for specific areas.
You put comments on those ones because you just couldn't do that.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. Yep. All right. So that's a really neat feature. Just write that down because that's a feature that I think is a unique feature, not available in most blogs. So we really like that one. Let me go ahead and share with you some more stuff. So we're still in the blog area and we see that it's connected to this website. So that's our connection. And we still have all of these items here to take a look at for our blog. So we're in the Tuesday Night Blog Training blog. Okay. So right here we have the overview. So if I click on that, this tells us what we have for this blog. So we don't have any posts yet. We have one site connected. So one site is connected to this blog and everything else is 0. So we're at the very basic of basic for this blog. Okay. Then if we go to the next item, we've got categories. Now, if I click categories, these are the categories that you can put your blog posts into. So we talked about a hair salon and how they might have articles on hair care, on skin care, on nail care. So we can have categories like hair care, skin care, and nail care so that we can start breaking down our articles, our blog articles into different categories. So that way, if we want to be able to have them search by category, we could do that. So they could click just, hair care and find all of the articles on just hair care. So that's how we would use the category. And to create a new category, you just click new category and you type in hair care and then save. And that will create a new category for us. If I click this down arrow, we can actually edit the name and we can edit the slug. A slug is what happens on the URL. It's the tail end of the URL. So what it does is it puts that slug on the tail end of it, and that tells the system, look for every single article you can find that has this category name and put it on this page. Okay. So if you're looking for SEO, the slug starts to become important in the URL. So you want to use that word. Okay. You can also go to authors. So if you've got multiple people that are going to be writing for you, you can actually add them in. So if I click authors and I can click new authors, and in here, I'm going to put my name, Shelly Turner. My email is shelly@builderalldiva.com. My biography, I am the Builderall Diva. And then I can actually add some social media in there. So I can add HTTP, Facebook, facebook.com/skydiving diva. On Instagram, so I can put all of these in here if I want to. Then I can also change the avatar. So if I click that, I can change that picture. So let's see if we can find the Shelly picture here. So here we go. Oh my gosh, do we have a Shelly picture? Let's see if it'll load. There it is right there. So there's a picture of Shelly. So you can see that I can put my name, I can put social media information, I can put an image of myself, and then I click save. And if I had some other authors, I could actually put their information in there as well. So you can have more than one author. And then here I have a post template. If I click here, this actually works as if you want to have things pre-filled out for you when you're building a post. Remember, a post is just an article that you write, an article that goes into your blog, but you can actually pre-fill it with information. So you can put in, like if you have a signature at the end of your every post, you can put that in. If you want the same header to go at the top of every post, you can put that in. If you have company information that you want to put at the bottom of every post, you can put that in. So this allows you to kind of pre-make the post so that all those things that will be in every single post, you can put them in ahead of time and make it a template. And then when you go to actually create the real post, you pull the template in and then finish filling everything out. So this is kind of like, let me look at your eyeballs.
Shelly,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Quick question regarding the author. So let's say you have, does the person have to have a Builderall account to have an author account? So for them to actually go in, or can they have a free account and will they allow them to go in like that?
That I don't know yet, because I don't know the method yet that they're going to allow people to come in and write an article and submit it. So I don't quite know that yet. Right now, the only thing I know about authors is you can put in as many as you want, and you've got all that information you can put in about them. But I have not seen yet the way that they're going to allow those authors to be able to write and submit to the blog.
Okay.
Okay. As soon as we get that, man, I'm shooting a video. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to get all of you guys to write a blog entry for me. But that's coming down the line. Is once you get those authors in there, let me find that down here. There we go. So once you get those authors in there, the system is going to be set up so that you can actually have people write blog articles for you and submit them to go into your blog, and you don't have to. You'll have to do the minimal, probably only just approve them so that they get approved to go into your blog. But that's not there yet, but it is coming. That's one of the features that we'll have for the blog. So that is super exciting, because then I'm going to hit all of you guys up for blog entries for me. I think I had somebody have a question. Who else had a question? Stacy, go ahead.
Actually, what I wanted to share was another great way to use those templates is if, for example, you have like book reviews that you do once a month or once a week, or on Wednesdays you do certain like tech tips on Wednesday only. So you can have a template for that. Or if you do something else, or you do a review of something, you know, you can have templates so that each time you do that particular type of post, you can have that set up in advance. So I just wanted to share that.
That's great, Stacey. I'm glad that you said that, because that is another great feature with those templates is you can create more than one template. So you can create a template for a regular post. And then like today is Tuesday. Usually it's Taco Tuesday, but Taco Tuesday is usually on Friday. But I think Taco Tuesday is actually today. So we could put a template together that says something about Taco Tuesday, right? And then when I'm ready to post on Taco Tuesday, I can pull that template up, and it will have everything in there that I need as far as like the shell of the post. And then I can put the actual content in there. So it's a great way to pre-make your post for specific entries that you want to do. So if I'm a blogger on food, I might have Mexican Monday, let's see, Tahitian Tuesday, Wacky Wednesday, you know, all these different food items. And then the blog templates are there. All I have to do is go in and put the actual content in. So it's a great, great idea, Stacey. I absolutely love that. And we have that power with those templates, which makes it really, really great. Okay, so great, 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 Stacey. Thank you for that input. Anybody else have a question? Because I thought I saw one more hand go up. No? All right, so we're going to jump back in and keep going. So let me share my screen. And so we talked about the templates, and now we go into the post. And the post itself is actually really, really, it's so simple. It's almost scary, right? So I'm going to go ahead and create a new post. And we did something on, we did a category of hair care with Shelly Turner. That was our category and our author. So let's go new post. And let's say that I'm going to do this post on hair care. So it is really important to wash your hair at least every 2 days, or it will start to look oily. There you go. So we highlight that, and we're going to copy and paste it a few times. So here we go, dun, and dun, and dun, 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 and then we'll enter, dun, 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 enter. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. We'll make it look like it's got a lot of content. There we go. Okay, lots of content. So now we know we have to wash our hair. So we've got the content in there. Now we've got a dynamic toolbar right here. So we can actually kind of change what this content looks like. So right now the content is a heading, it's defaulting heading 1. You can choose our fonts and choose our sizes. So I can change this to heading 2, heading 3. I can change it to normal. I can change the font style to, let's say, Arial Black. I can change the font size to 17. Change that font back to Arial. There we go. And I can bold it. I can italicize it. I can underline it. I can take certain sections of that text and bold it. I can take other sections and italicize it. So you can see how I can start now making a post that's going to have a lot of dynamic stuff happening inside the post. It doesn't have to be all one thing. I can also go in and add images. So I just put the cursor where I want, and then I can go in and grab an image. Let's see if we can grab an image real quick. Oh, let's see my TikTok image. That sounds good. There's my TikTok image. That's one of them anyway. And I can click on that. And when I click on it, I can actually grab that little handle and shrink it up a bit. Just like that. Just like that. And then I can separate that text a little bit. So you can see I've got a lot of control here with the text and how it looks, images and how they look. I can even click on the image. And if you look right here, I can left justify, center, or right justify the image. So depending on how I've got the blog post feed set up, I may want the image on one side, the other side, or centered. And then the next thing I have is actually the ability to add video. So if I click here, I put the cursor where I want it, and then I click on this media. And here's the URL. So let's go to YouTube and grab a URL. So youtube.com. And here's one of my favorite singers in the whole wide world, and she's like 16 years old. It's Grace Vanderwall. So I'm going to click that video, and then we'll go back to the blog, and I'm going to enter that into the URL right there, and then save. And now I've actually got that video added as well. So that, just think of how huge that is, you guys. You can put the video embedded right into your blog post. So let's talk about this a minute, because I want you guys to see how cool this is. You can do courses now set up inside of a blog, right? You can create a blog that has almost a course feel to it. How cool is that? You can do tips and tricks blog. So I'm telling you, there are people out there everywhere that want to know tips and tricks on how to do cool things on their computer. You guys know the taskbar at the bottom of the screen. There's a way to move that taskbar on a PC up to the top or over to the side. It's super simple, but people don't know how to do it. That would be a cool tips and tricks thing that you could put into a blog. You've got Control C, Control V, Control D, Control A. All of those are cool shortcut tips and tricks that people want to know. That would be an awesome blog. And you could shoot a video and put it into the blog as well to show them exactly how to do it. And even a Builderall blog. Think about it. If you've got some neat tips and tricks that you want to show, a Builderall blog would be absolutely fabulous. So take it beyond just training on how to do an email list or how to do a sales funnel. Show them some really cool stuff, like in Pixel Perfect, we had the ability to layer things in a way, and we now have that ability in Builderall. So my video is coming on this, but I showed how you can take that, you know, the filler up line where you put a percentage and it fills up, right? You can actually take that and turn it now. So if you get that and put an image over it that is a clear area, and you put the filler up underneath it, you can actually make it fill up right on the screen. So I was showing a training in Pixel Perfect on how you could have like a thermometer and put that filler up behind it and watch the thermometer go up higher as that thing fills up. So that would be a neat tip or trick that you could put inside of a blog. And it's Builderall related on how you can do that. So there's tons of those. There's tons of those little tricks. So that all of those will be neat things to do inside of a blog. Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, will the text word wrap around a picture?
Will it word wrap around the picture? I'm not sure, but let's check.
Yes, if it goes to the left, it's going to word wrap.
Yeah, I was thinking that if you click any of these, like right now, it's not word wrapped, but if I click any of these, then it will actually word wrap. Let me get rid of the video and we'll check it. Well, let's do the video. Yeah, anytime you click it, it's going to word wrap. So if you don't click any of these, it won't word wrap, but if you click them, then it's going to word wrap.
All right, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Let me go back and see if there's any other questions. Oh, Louise is doing the flagging me down thing. Go, Louise, go, go, go. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. My mind is like, can you
Good,
just,
that's good.
can you go back and just, you just threw out the idea that you could sort of make it into a bit of a course. Like, what did you mean by that?
Man, it is so exciting. Think about this. I haven't told you about this yet, but there's a drip feature in the blog. So imagine if you take that blog and you say, I'm going to do a 30-day course for you on how to set up a blah, 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 right? So you're going to do a 30-day course, but you set up the blog so that it drip feeds over 30 days. So now they won't be able to get to any of the other blog articles except for the first one on the first day. And then on day 2, they get to the second one. And then on day 3, they can get to the third one. Think of how huge that is, because now you can start walking them through almost in a course-like environment how to do something, or to keep them under control so they don't try to go ahead. So it's really, to me, it's really exciting because it's not quite a course, not really, but it's so close to a course and it's blog style. So it's not quite as formal as a course. So you've got that kind of more relaxed environment. I think it's just a really neat idea to be able to deliver content in a little bit different way that's not an official course.
Shelley, the blogs can be dripped by the first date they go, or is it just dripped by saying, I want this one to go up on June 1st and the other one to go up on 7 days later on June 8th? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was looking at it a little while ago, but I honestly can't remember if it could block on, it does drip on day 1. I know that for sure. So you can drip it the first day they access, and everything drips from that first day they access because the cookies dropped. But I honestly can't remember if you drip it on a specific day. But even if you can't, you can assign it to drop on a specific day. So when you're building your articles out, you can say, all right, I want this article to drop on July the 1st, this one to drop on July the 2nd, just this one on July the 3rd. So it's either way, right? You can either drip it.
It comes in the first day. That's what I'm asking.
Right. You can either drip it. I say access, and so everything drops. Drop by saying, I want this one to definitely be published on this day, and the next one on this day. So either way, you can do it. It just depends on how you want to do it. So here's the difference. If you drop it on a specific day, that means everybody's going to get it on that day, right? So you can say, all right, we officially start July the 1st. If you drip it, that means not everybody's going to get it the exact same day. They're gonna do their 30 days, but they may all be on a different day depending on when they access that first day.
Yes.
Okay.
Very exciting.
So that's the coolness of it. I know, right?
Yes.
I did not contain myself, you guys. My brain has gone lickety split, yakety schmackety down the road, down 10 different roads, trying to think of what I want to do first with the blog. And the first thing I need to do is get some time. But
And Shelley,
it's really exciting.
it's a great way as well to keep traffic coming to your blog, to your site as well, because they'll keep on coming from day 1 to day 30 in terms of bringing traffic to your blog, which is good as well for your blog and your website.
That's exactly right, Chris. And that's what you want is you want consistent, constant traffic to be coming to that blog. I love the idea of dripping in a blog. That when I saw that arrived in the blog, I was like, holy crap on a cracker. That's awesome. Because it just puts another spin on that blog that you don't really get from like a WordPress or something like that. Because WordPress, you release it and you can even release it on specific days, but you don't really have that ability like we have now to do that drip. So that's a huge thing. Now, I'm sure there's probably a plugin somewhere, but we all know what happens with plugins. They break the whole thing, right? So this won't break the whole thing, and it's super duper easy to set up. So it is really, really exciting. I think I had another question in there somewhere. Lisa?
Yeah, I just wanted to tag in on what you were talking about the drip, and what Chris just said. Is when we were testing the blog and I saw that drip thing, I immediately went like 10-day challenge. You know, if you think of those kind of things, instead of it necessarily being a course with lots of content, it really could just be a written like action challenge thing. And Chris is right, where you go and come back tomorrow, you know, for the next piece. And it could be a 5-day challenge, a week-long challenge, a 10-day challenge, or 30 days, like you said. And so there's lots of ways to go. Once a week, we're going to give you a new recipe to make or whatever. So yeah, cool stuff. I thought of that when we were testing and went, oh, this is cool.
I know. You probably did the same thing I did, Lisa. You're like, holy crap on a cracker. This is big. And the other big thing about it is, guys, if you're delivering this stuff by email, what you're encouraging them to do is 1, open your email, 2, click a link. Those 2 things are so important these days because that helps your domain email reputation go up, which means you're going into the inbox and not the spam box. So we're talking about the whole big picture here. You know, it's easy to say, yeah, blog has drip now. That's interesting. No. we as entrepreneurs, we need to think beyond that. We need to think, wow, okay, now I can increase my engagement with email, and I can make sure that they're opening and clicking every single day. I mean, seriously, the whole shebango is really, really cool. So there's lots and lots of potential here. We don't even have a box anymore in BuildWorld. We are so out of the box right now. It's really, really, really cool. I think I saw one more hand go up. Who was that? Was that Steve, my brother from another mother?
Brother from another country.
Okay, yeah, that too.
One thing with the templates, I set up a template, but I found it kept showing up in the feed.
Yes.
Because it's not a draft. So if you have templates, they show up and you don't really want them to. They should be able to make them a draft or something.
You're exactly right. So the templates, we're working on that. We've sent that into the developers and they are working on getting that fixed for us. So yes, you're exactly right. And what country are you from, Steve?
I'm in Australia. I'm in Melbourne.
Nice. So I will be hopping on a plane and coming to see you hopefully very soon.
Oh, terrific. No worries.
All right, you guys, any other questions about the blog so
Shelley,
far? Yes.
Dazzle Daniel is asking, does the BA blog have a subscribe feature?
Does the what?
Does the blog have a subscribe feature? Subscribing.
Does it have a subscribe feature? I don't think it does. But I mean, you could create your own subscribe, right? Because what we can do is, and we'll talk more about this next week, you can put the blog itself on a page and then right next to it have like a sidebar and put an email marketing form on there where they can subscribe, which means now you can add them to your mailing list, which you're going to send out emails about your blog. And then of course, they can open that email and they can click on that link and your reputation for that domain email goes up. Okay. Davida.
Okay, I'm sorry I was late, but I was doing some videos for my e-learning course.
That's okay.
And it was, and what I've been talking about, and it really ties in with this, is affiliate marketing. How to make it easy, and the use of blogs. And it's like, okay, if you're going to use a platform to do affiliate marketing, you need all the digital tools. And it's like, do you want to go to WordPress and pay for all of these things, or do you want to come here and get it all for one low price?
There you go. That's it. And affiliate marketing is another great thing to use a blog for. You guys, there's a great program on Amazon called Vine. And Vine lets you test people's products that they're selling on Amazon, and you get a free version of the product. And then once you test it, you can actually put your affiliate link out there and sell it. So I would do reviews for this product through the Vine program, but then I would actually review the article, review the item, and actually post the YouTube videos on YouTube. So you can actually go to YouTube and see some of my old product testimonials that I did for lots of different products that they have in Amazon. But with a blog, you can not only put those videos on YouTube, but you can bring those videos over and embed them into a blog and then do your written review along with the YouTube video. So you can imagine now how powerful that becomes. You've got a YouTube video, you've got the YouTube embedded in a blog, you're explaining, then you've got your affiliate link right there with it. So again, that's another great thing to use to be able to help kind of boost your affiliate marketing as well.
Well, I mean, that's what I was doing, was saying, okay, you can do product reviews, you can do testimonials, you can do, what was the other one? But just so many different case studies. All of those things tie into if you're going to be doing affiliate marketing. And the funny thing is, the course is, okay, here's affiliate marketing, here's what it is, here's the sites you can go to sign up for. Now, once you've done that, how are you going to market it?
And if you guys are interested in affiliate marketing, one of the places that has great resources for what's selling out there on JVZoo and ClickBank is something called Muncheye, MUNCHEYE.com. And I'm gonna put a disclaimer on there. It's kind of like when you go to Hobby Lobby. If you've ever been to Hobby Lobby, they need to have a sign on the door that says danger. If you go through this door, you may not leave for 3 hours. And Muncheye is the same way. Muncheye, you jump in there and check it out and you're like, wow, I didn't even know these products existed. Are you kidding me? It's great, but make sure that you set your timer or something like that. Get you a Amazon Echo so you can tell Alexa what to do. But just make sure that you're checking those things out, because there's a ton of products in there, and it will take you straight to the JV page where you can sign up as an affiliate, and then you can actually get review copies. You can see what that product is all about. And then once you're approved as an affiliate, you can then do a blog entry and sell that product for commission. So it is a great place to find out about affiliate products. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, just one thing, since you raised affiliate marketing in blogs, one of the things that things like Elementor and other programs have, when you add a link, you need to be able to specify what type of link it is. You know, no follow, and in particularly Google's making sure that you add sponsored, so that when they crawl your site, if your blog's got affiliate links in, it knows. You don't want to get penalized. Are we going to have something like that added?
I'm not sure, Steve, but that would be a great thing to submit to support, to let them know that whenever we do add links in there, we need to be able to say that's a follow or no follow thing. So submit that to support and let them know that it needs to go to the dev so they can look at it. Okay, because that is really important. All right, any other questions before we keep going? This is like a great lesson on how to use blogs, isn't it? All right, let's jump in and take a look at a little bit more. So I'm going to share my screen. And so now you're seeing that we can do a lot of different things in here. So you see this dynamic toolbar. We added a picture, we added a video, we've got tons of text. Now over here, I can actually do some other things. So I've got the title of my blog entry. So we'll say Shelly loves TikTok, because I actually really do love TikTok. And then a thumbnail. So we can actually create a thumbnail specifically for this particular article. So right here, I can just click on this image. And let's see if we can find a good image. We'll just use that same one right there and select. So now I've got a thumbnail. And categories, if you remember, I did one category already, so we can choose hair care. Or on the fly, I can create a new category. So I just type it in, hit enter, and then choose it. So I can actually choose my categories on the fly. I can also choose more than one category, because you know there are times when you're creating blog entries that it could be associated with more than one category. So you can actually click multiple categories. And then I can choose my author, which the author is, of course, me, the Builder Viva. And then on the time cycle right here, we can decide to choose this as an instant post, as in when we click save, it instantly goes out there and is ready to post. We can schedule it, meaning we can say, I want this to drop on July the 1st, or we can drip it, as in from the day that they access this blog, when do we want this entry to be available to them? So we may drip it one day after they access the blog, 10 days after they access the blog. So this would be a great one for, like Lisa was talking about, a 10-day challenge or a 5-day challenge, or even if you're doing a full course, it would be really great to use it for that. So you've got instantaneously, a scheduled, or a drip, which is really, really cool. We're going to go with instantaneous. And then here I've got custom URL. And what this means is the tail end of the URL. So right at the end of the URL, what do we want to put there? And for this post, we can create something different than what the actual title is. So why would I do that? That's for SEO purposes, getting maybe some extra juice on those keywords to be able to get ranked. So if you've got a blog and you're working on specific keywords, then you're going to want to customize your URL to hit those keywords. So if my keywords was, oh, I don't know, divorce lawyer, then I'd have to figure out how to create that custom URL to have divorce lawyer in there. So it would be hitting on those words for the SEO for this article. Okay, so that's going to help you get a little bit of juice on the SEO. Not a lot, because it's not as huge as it used to be in the past, but at least it's a little bit. And then here we've got select template. This is if you've got a pre-made template already and you haven't put everything in already, you can choose to pull in the template and then start building your post. Okay, so we can also choose to slide this one into drafts, meaning we're not done with it, we're still editing. So I can toggle this to a draft, and then I can go back and actually finish editing it and then send it to go out live. We're not going to select this as draft though. I'm just going to go ahead and click save. Now remember, I chose instantaneous. So what's going to happen is this should instantly get published. Okay, so let's choose save. And now it says it saved it correctly or successfully. So I can either stay on this page and edit, or I can go to my post list. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my post list. And now I've got one whole post in there, and it is live actually on the blog if I go look at it. So that's how you add a post. Now on this post, if I need to update it or change it, I can just click the update button and I'm right back in the post, and I can make any changes that I want to. And then I click save again, and then I can post list. And I've also ability to 3 dots, and on dots, call this featured. This is another really cool thing. You can call a post featured. And what that'll do for you is it will set apart those posts as special posts. Like my mom used to tell me I was special. These posts are special. And that means that if you want to do a feed that is only for those featured posts, you can actually do that. And you can put it on a different page. So let's say on your home page, you're talking about hair salons, but you've got 3 posts that you think are very special posts that you think everybody needs to see on that home page. You could actually call them featured and then put those featured posts in a slider on the home page using those cool elements that we're going to talk about next week. So the featured is actually really important because it now allows you to pull those special posts out and do some really cool things outside of the feed page and outside of the post page. Okay. And then we've got the settings. So if I click that, this allows me to go into a few settings, including setting up the keywords for this post. Very important for SEO. So if you're really trying to get that SEO juice, you can put those keywords in there. Then you've got the ability to do meta tags. And Steve, this will allow you to set the follow, no follow. You can do that as a meta tag. Or we can do the index right here. So we can actually index on or off. And then we can also do some custom SEO settings. And I have never messed with that before. So I guess that's turning these on. So we have to turn this on, and then we can put SEO keywords in here for this article, and then the meta tag information for this article as well. So why is that important? Again, the meta tags are something that you set for that post, for that page, that is unique to that post or that page. And meta tags are important because it gives information about that page. Not just information for SEO, but information like the description, like a title, like keywords. There's a lot of things that happen in meta tags. So if you're not sure, do a search on meta tags and you'll see how important meta tags really are. And if you can master meta tags, that's a huge thing to do for pages. And then of course the keywords are going to help you with SEO. So those are a couple things you can do on each and every article that you create for your blog. And then index, what that means is when the search engines come and start to crawl your blog, it either tells them, yes, you can look at this page and go ahead and index it, or no, don't index this page. Now, why would you not want a page indexed? It might be something that you don't really necessarily want people to be able to find with the search engine. It doesn't make sense that you wouldn't, but there really are pages that you don't really want to be found in a search engine. So you can say no index, and that tells the search engines to skip over this page. But not all search engines skip. If they see a no index, that's like permission for them to jump in and check anyway, like hackers do. So it doesn't protect it from being indexed from all search engines, but search engines like Google and like Yahoo, they respect the no index. So if you say don't crawl this page, they will not crawl that page and index it in their search engine. Okay. So for no index, you can turn that on if you do want it to be found. Turn it on if you don't want it to be found. Turn it off if you do want it to be found. Does that make sense? It's like the opposite. Now that everybody's eyes are crossed. But once you get those settings the way you want it, you click save. And then we've got that saved. And then the last one was delete. So if you have an article in there, a post in there, and you want to delete it, you just click the delete button and it will delete it from your post list. Then we've got the ability to organize our posts. This is going to be critical when you're looking for your posts, because I'll tell you, your posts, once you get 100 entries, they can get out of hand trying to find one that you want to edit. So you can actually organize them, or you can actually search for them as well. So those two things are very important. So that's how you add posts. So now we've got the dripping timeline. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see that it has nothing there. And that's because we haven't dripped anything. But as soon as you set up a drip timeline, it will start adding to this area, and you'll actually see the posts and how they're supposed to drip for you, which is really cool, because now you can see the exact timeline of how your posts are supposed to drip. So like Lisa said, if you have like a 10-day challenge, you can see those 10 posts and how they're supposed to drip for people when they access the blog. So absolutely fantastic. And then we've got edit blog. If I click on that, that's just going to allow me to change the name of the blog, the description, and the share image. And then once I make my changes, I can click save. And let me go back into the blog. And then we've got settings. So if I click on settings, this is for the entire blog, not just for one page, but for the entire blog. I can set up the configuration for the preview. So I can show future drip posts if I want to in the like in the news feeds and stuff. I can show schedule post previews, and I can set up my date format here. So by default, showing the dripping posts, the future dripping posts are turned off, and showing like a preview of schedule posts is turned off. And then of course the date, you can change that. We're in the United States, so usually the date is more like this right here, where it's got day, month, day, and year. And then the SEO settings, this again is for the entire blog. So for the entire blog, not just one page, you can set up keywords and you can set up meta tags, and you can also tell the search engines for the whole blog, either index it or don't index it. Okay, so those are the entire blog settings. And then down here, we can actually import a blog. This is really cool because, you know, in Pixel Perfect, we had a blog. So if I click import blog, it's going to show me all of my Pixel Perfect blogs. And I can choose to import any one of these into this blog. So if I've already created a blog in Pixel Perfect and it's got everything in there that I want, I can actually choose import. And then it gives me choices of different things that I want to import, like categories, the authors, the posts, all that kind of stuff. I can choose to import all of that, and it will bring them all over into my Cheetah blog. And I have to do very little to actually finish setting everything up. Connect, we already talked about. That's how we connect it to a specific website. And then back home. So I can click back home, and that will take me to where all of the blogs are at. And remember that we were working in this one right here. So those are all the settings inside where it says edit the blog. But if you notice, we actually didn't do a whole lot of settings on how the blog looks. Right? We did a lot of settings on how to create the post, how to do dripping, how to do the title, how to do SEO. All of that was in editing the blog, but we didn't do anything on how the blog actually looks. We didn't change any colors. We didn't change any sizes of anything. So now we have to figure out, okay, where do we go to get all that done? So let's go ahead and investigate that. So if I go back into Cheetah, I'm back in my Tuesday night blog training website. I'm not in the blog area right now. I mean, I'm back in the website. And here you can see that I've got my home page, but I'm going to refresh the screen and I'm going to show you what the blog did to my website. So I'm just going to refresh this. And now what I see is not only do I have the home page here, but I have the feed page and the post page. That's huge. Now let's talk about this for a minute because I really want you to understand how this works. So the feed page is the page that's going to show my articles, my blog articles that I've written. So my blog posts, okay? And I can set that feed page to show the last 10 that I wrote, the last 20 that I wrote, the last 2 that I wrote. I can set it to whatever I want to. But it's going to be a feed of my blog posts, okay? And then when I click the specific post in the feed, it's going to take me to the blog post page. Now, if you'll notice, there's only one blog post page, okay? So let me look at your eyeballs to make sure that you guys are getting this. There's one blog post page, and there will always be only one blog post page. What happens is, there's those eyeballs. What happens is when you click the button to read more and you're going to that blog post, it actually goes to that blog post page, which is like a skeleton page. And it goes to a database and pulls the content and drops it in there for you. So when you go back to the newsfeed page and you click a different blog article, it'll take you to that same exact page, but it goes to the database and chooses the other article's content and drops it in that page. So if you have 1,000 posts, it's actually going to the same exact page every time, but it's going to the database and pulling the content and dropping it into that page. That's cool because now you're not going to have 1,000 pages to have to work with. You've got a single page and then you've got that database of posts. So you now have a lot more power and a lot more speed when the thing actually loads because it's not a 1,000 page website, right? To me, that is like really, really exciting. I've got a couple questions, so let me jump around. Bonnie?
So what happens in terms of Google and SEO when each one's not a page, and how does that get put into Google or Bing or whatever for SEO, for people, for them clicking on it, all that kind of stuff? Can you explain that to me? Because I don't understand.
I don't really understand the mechanics of Google. I know that it's going to see all the articles that's been written, but I don't know how it sees all the articles that it's written. But I do know that it will still capture the titles of each of the articles. That's why it's important in that SEO area in each article that you put your keywords in there. So my best guess is, and I'd have to confirm this with the developers, but it's probably going to be directed to something similar to an RSS feed, and it will feed that information to Google. Sorry.
Is there a place, I don't remember when we were beta testing, I don't know if it was there when we were beta testing, that you can put the little description that would go when it would be on Google that is not necessarily your first paragraph?
Yeah, that mini description. I don't think we have that ability, but I know we've submitted that to the developers.
Just gonna say, have you asked them to do that? Because I think that's really,
Yeah, I've submitted that a couple times now, so I think they've responded to me on that and said that they're working on it. Yeah.
add it on the Pixel Perfect.
Yep. Chris, I think you were next.
The way Google works is basically it kind of like it goes there, looks at all the article and the article itself. It's kind of like does a virtual scan for the keywords, title,
Right.
keywords, and everything. So it doesn't matter where its house is. If it goes to that link and for that particular link that has the article that you're looking for, it scans it for the keywords and everything like that for the SEO and everything. So one thing I really love about this new blog is that compared to Pixel Perfect, where you had to do separate ones, every single one for the articles, where it was a lot of work and slow because literally every one of those articles had its own perspective page. With this one, it's kind of like a bucket. So it's the same bucket. It gets the article, puts it in the bucket. Google SEO reads the article for the title, the SEO, the meta tags, and everything like that. So it's not going to affect at all. So which means that with this particular new system, you can embellish that bucket and with your brand, with your colors and everything like that. And it will still bring in every article that you write in that bucket.
Right. I love that too, Chris. I when I saw this setup and how it's working, and the fact that we can set up those meta tags and those SEO settings at the blog level and at the page level, at the article level, that's exciting too, because I can put my major keywords at the blog level, but then start hitting some minor keywords at the article level and get a double hit on those. So super duper exciting. I think there's potential in there for some really cool SEO stuff. With it still being so new, we haven't really had a chance to test it a whole lot, but I think that there's some good case studies that we can do to see how well this hits in SEO for sure. Greg, go ahead, and then I'll get Stacy.
What about using a link to email or to reference, or for somebody that bookmarks a link to a particular blog article? Is that if it's not
possible? It is.
If it's not the page.
Yeah, remember when we were editing the actual blog post?
Yeah.
And we went in there and it said a slug. Remember that slug? Yeah. That's at the end of that URL for the blog post page. URL page. Okay. And then there's a slug at the end that identifies what you pulled from the database. Okay. So you can actually get the individual page URL and send them straight to the article, not just the post page.
Okay.
So yeah, it can be done. Absolutely. Stacy, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically the way it sounds like you're describing it, it's kind of like a frame. We used to do websites with frames, and that's kind of what it's like a frame. So I have a question, but I'm gonna give a comment first. I think we do need to test this because I don't know for certain, and I don't know, but we don't know for sure whether what Chris was saying really is gonna work. This frame or bucket, it may or may not be able to crawl that page, because in order to get that metadata and the data. I know that we put it in there for the article, but I just think, and I'm only saying that because it's important to know what to expect and whether you're getting certain things from what you put out there. So I think something that, time will tell, and we should look at that. But what I do want to know is, I'm assuming obviously there's somewhere where we can edit that frame, so to speak, or that bucket, so that every time it pulls it in, that it in fact it looks like Chris said, with our branding. And I just want to say something out loud that I just thought about. So if that's the case, whereas normally when you create a page for a blog article, a post, say because of whatever that topic is, you want to have certain links for it to go. Like you said, for example, earlier you talked about reviewing a product and then having the links for it. I know you were talking about on YouTube, but even on your blog. So that would mean that it's not going to be on that page. So you have to put it in the content of the post itself. Anything that's to that post. So again, we were talking about templates before. That could be something else, some kind of lower frame on that or lower portion of that post, of those kinds of posts, so that you can always have links or whatever it is you want people to see to that particular article.
Well, for like a product review, Stacey, I would definitely put the affiliate link inside the article, inside the post, right? Because I'm reviewing that item, so I put the affiliate link to that item inside the post. But the cool thing is, and we're going to cover this in just a couple minutes, you have complete control of everything that's around the blog information. So when we go to that post page, which is the skeleton, the shell, we can make the shell, that skeleton, that post page, look however we want it to look. So we can put stuff beside it. We can put a header on top of it, a footer below it. And so there's a lot of power that we have because we can make the skeleton look however we want it to look, and then drop the blog post inside there and actually configure the way the post looks as well.
Got it. I just want to share something else. This is just in general in terms of thinking about a blog. We're all talking about fresh content, which is important and very useful. The other thing I just want to drop in terms of an idea on everybody is the idea of an evergreen blog, meaning for those who are not excited about the idea of creating new content all the time, an evergreen blog is like, for example, frequently asked questions or just things that education you want to give your potential clients. So therefore you want, 3, 4, 5 pages on your website or articles or posts that they can go to whenever they land there, and they will get information that will be part of you leading them into potentially doing business with you because you've educated them. So that for me is what I see the value in. I mean, I see the value in all of this, but I just want to drop that because it's a whole nother mindset, And
yeah, and I think that falls into what we were talking about before, where if you want to do like, let's say your niche area is lawyers, you can do a blog that's evergreen for lawyers, right? And then you get 10 lawyer clients and you can say, hey, I've got a pre-made blog. We can connect this for you for an extra $100 a month or whatever it is. And it's an evergreen blog that doesn't have any identifying information in the actual blog itself, but you can pull it into the site and put the header up there and the footer up there and even a sidebar specifically for that lawyer. So now you've got that evergreen blog that's embedded into their site. It looks like it's actually just for them. What people won't know when they visit that lawyer site is there's 9 other lawyers that have the exact same blog that's integrated into their site. It looks like it's their blog. And that's that evergreen aspect that you were talking about. So you can create those evergreen blogs, whether it's for you or for another company, and not put any identifying information like authors or dates or categories or anything. You can literally make it so it looks like everything was written recently, when in fact it could be 1 year old, 2 years old. You guys have probably seen these out there where you go to a blog, there's no author listed, and you don't even know what the date of the blog is. They're creating an evergreen blog because they don't want people to see, oh, I wrote this article and added it 2 years ago, right? They want it to be evergreen. So yes, absolutely, Stacy. Evergreen blogs are very valuable for yourself and your company, or to use that to distribute to other companies as well. Let's see, let me get Tyree, and then I'll go back up to Greg. Tyree?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for this training, Shelley. What I wanted to say, 2 things, a comment and a question. I heard Bunny mention about indexing the blog. Me personally, I love the fact that we have now a blog that if we want it to be indexed, or we don't have to have an index. I love that. Normally, what I usually do, I go to Google and set up my blog to where I can directly index it right then. And if I have it properly SEO, within a minute or so, it's already indexed and I can pull it up. So that gives me an option. And right now, just in case I forget to do that, I like the fact that we have this. The other part is I saw now where we have the option, we have where we can do for the page itself, keywords and tags, or either for the blog itself have keywords and tags. I've not had that option before in any other blog. However, I do have a question. I usually, when it comes to a blog, I use different keywords sometimes, and I usually just use 5 to 6 keywords. Same for a tag, I might use different things. So on this blog, does it have like a stopping point? Like it'll tell you you're using too many keywords? And I'm saying this because the different people that I'm showing different things, sometimes they flood the keyword system and it messes up stuff. So I'm wondering if it has a certain limit of keywords it would allow you to use.
I'm not sure if it does right now, but I know a great way to test that, and that's just start typing in some words and see if it stops you. But I don't know if there's a word limit or a character limit or anything like that. We have to kind of test it out.
Okay, and the other thing, if I heard mention about adding something for a description, so we'll know what the description of the text, you said you submitted that and that's in the works?
Yeah, that was Bonnie. What she was asking about is when you go to share a blog page, what it does is it grabs that share image that you put in, but then it grabs the first bit of content that you have. And you may not want that content to be the content that you want shared. You may want to summarize it better for the share information. Okay. So we've asked for them to create a place where we can put on each article if we want to put in the share description, so that say you're sharing it on Facebook, it'll pull in the share image that you have, plus a better summary of your blog instead of taking the first few lines of your blog.
Okay, well, I'm over here, my mind is being blown, but I'm getting over this stuff that I dealt with. Had a great doctor's appointment today. They told me to take it easy. So I'm trying to contain the excitement, okay?
I know how you feel. I know how you feel because Builderall is just like 100% excitement, isn't it?
Yes,
I'm sure,
it is.
Shelley, you don't have to contain anything because she doesn't contain it.
I don't.
Thank you so
can,
much.
you can just ride with me. We'll both be excited together. We'll do that together. Let me get Greg next, and then I'll get my brother Steve.
Okay, real quick. Can we take a blog and rent it to somebody who doesn't have a Builderall account and put it on their page?
That's an idea. That's a really good idea. I can't see why you can't do it.
So we would just give them the link they would put in their menu blog and boom over to us, and we could charge them rent for it. And
yep, absolutely. You could absolutely do that.
We can put AdSense on it. We can put flyers on it. I mean, there's so many things you can do.
So many things you can do. Yeah. Yeah. It's great, you guys. When Chris mentioned AdSense, we're getting ready to send an email out tomorrow. That's AdSense training that Eric's going to do on Thursday. So let me encourage every one of you guys, write that down Thursday at, I believe, 3 p.m. Eastern time. My gosh, you do not want to miss that, because when you start talking about the power of this blog and then being able to add AdSense in there for earning a little bit of money on the side from the actual advertising you add to your blog, AdSense can add up really, really fast. If your blog gets pretty good traffic, you can expect to make, $20, $30, $40 a month. Doesn't sound like much, but when you start putting together blogs and putting that AdSense in, it doesn't take that many blogs to be able to start collecting that money. So it's really a numbers game with AdSense. How much can you get out there and how much traffic can you get in to be able to make the AdSense actually pay for it?
yeah, if you could,
really, really cool.
If you could rent that blog to 10 attorneys or 10 insurance agents or, whatever for $10 a month or 15, whatever.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. And the other part of that is you can actually, let me blow your mind even more. Instead of like sending them specifically to like the blog feed page, you can actually just set up a real simple website for them, where really the only pages in there are the news feed page and the news post page, and just make sure they have their own header and their own footer to differentiate them. And now they've got it matching their website. And then for the second person that wants to use the same blog, you just create another version of that website, but connect that same blog to this website, which has a different header and a different footer. So you've got that one, and you can rent that one out. So there's so much potential, right?
That just increases the price of poker.
There you go. Let me go to Steve.
Shelley, what I was asking about is sidebars are a big thing with blogs, and I was just wondering whether they would be added in the global part where you could set up a global sidebar where you could put your subscribe form, various links, ads, or would that be added as an element in the individual blog page? So you could just, instead of building one I know you could do it with a box and keep making one and add it, but it'd be good if you just went to that page, added an element, which is sidebar, and then build elements in it.
Well, here's what I want you to do is I want you to fasten your seatbelt, because we're going to head into that in about 5 to 10 minutes. And you're going to be so excited. I don't want you to fall out of your chair. So make sure you're seatbelted in, okay? Because it's great. It is absolutely great. Chris?
Yeah, while we were talking, I was just testing what Tyree said. I just added 40 different categories and there was no problem.
Woohoo! Love it. Yeah, that's really exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
All right, you guys.
Just wanted to help.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. All right. Any other questions before we jump back in again? Lisa, go ahead.
Hey, Shelley, I want you to go back to I think the last screen you were on, because back when we were beta testing, I noticed this and I went, okay, I know there's a reason for this, so I'm not saying anything, but I know that it's going to come up for people. Go back, right where you were when you were in there you go. At the bottom where it says blog pages, you actually have 4 of these blog pages, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. So can you go over like which ones they should play with or why there's 4 on there? Because I think people are going to get confused by that.
Yeah, this is actually really, really cool, because all this is just it's the same thing. You've got the feed page here, see where it says feed, and the post page here. So the blog actually adds 2 pages to your website. But then down here at the bottom, it tells you, okay, what are the blog pages? Your blog pages are the feed page and the post page. So it's kind of pulling them out. And the reason it's doing this is because if you're like me, you're creating websites that have 52,000 pages. And you don't want to have to scroll through and go, where the heck are my blog pages? Even though they got the little blog indicator there, you can just go all the way down to the bottom and shazam, there are your blog pages. So they're the exact same thing. This feed page is this feed page. This post page is this post page. You can edit them in either location. It doesn't matter. It's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Okay, I just wanted you to say that officially, because we figured that out when we were playing with it, but I'm like, people are going to look at this and go, wait, holy moly, why is there 4 of them? Yeah.
Right, that's exactly it. So yeah, so we now know that the feed page is the page that like all of the articles are going to go on. Except last we wrote 15 articles last wrote have that feed. And then each article, each blog post is going to have a read more button. And when you click that read more, it's going to take you to the individual post page where it goes out, grabs the information, brings it back, and displays the content of that post. So that's how these are set up. It's actually just ingenious to me. I absolutely love it. And from here, we can actually start editing these pages to look exactly like we want them to look. Now, Steve, this is where you make sure that your seatbelt is on really tight. Are you ready? Okay. All right, so I'm going to go into the feed page, and we're going to take a look at what that looks like right now. So all I'm going to do is click edit. And when I go inside that page, it's going to actually show me the structure of the page, which right here, I've got my logo. So I can put my logo there. That looks like a header. And then right here, I've got what looks like a news feed slider. And then here, I've got the actual news feed itself. So if I click on here, it says posts. So if I added another post, it would be on here. This is a slider. So as I add posts, it will put these on the slider and they'll slide across. Okay. If I click on it, it says blog news slider. So I can see what that is. You see over here, it says blog news slider. And then this, it actually says posts, but this is a news feed. So if I created more blog posts, they would show up on here. And then if it's more than a certain number, I can set it to go to page 1, page 2, page 3, and I can kind of scroll through my posts to see them. And then right here, I've got the read more button on the live site. I could click that and it would take me to the post page where I would see this entire blog post. Okay, everybody with me so far? Great. So now here's the power in what we have here. So I've got this great news feed and it's taken up all my space on this page. And I want to do like Steve talked about, I want to create a sidebar. So I'm just going to shrink that up a bit. And then I'm going to go to add and elements. And I'm just going to go to the boxes. So let me find a box. So there we go, a box. And we'll take this purple box just like that. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let me scroll down and we'll kind of shrink that up a bit. And we'll put it right there on the side. And now this box, I can put anything in there I want to, Steve. I can put an email marketing form to start capturing their email so they can subscribe to my email list and get information about the blog. I can put items, offers that I want to sell. I can put affiliate links. I can put anything in here that I want to. And every time they come to the feed page to look at my list of posts, they'll see the sidebar as well. I can actually do the same thing to the post page. We'll look at it in a minute. We can change the size of the post area so that I can add the sidebar to it. So I've got complete control over this and I can put those sidebars together. I can change my header if I want to. I can, instead of having a slider right here, I can take that out if I want to. This was just part of the template that I grabbed. And that template actually had a slider set up for me. Okay, does that make sense? Great. So now let's talk about how we can do the settings for our news feed, how we want it to look. Okay, so if I click on my news feed, I'm going to get a bunch of settings. And on these settings, I can now start changing things so that they match the color, the design, the fonts, they match everything about my website. So the first thing I can change is the size. And so I've got a height content. They are changing that because it's actually changing the width. So expect that name to change, but you can see when I mess with the slider that it actually changes the width of that box. So I can actually manage that from here, or I can click and drag either one. And then I can also work with the colors. So right here on colors, I've got color 1, color 2, color 3, color 4, and color 5. I still haven't figured out what color 3 is, but color 1, if I change that color, you can see that it's the background right here. And color 2, I change that color, you can see that it's the background right there. Let me change it to a different color. We're going to go Mardi Gras colors. There we go. And then color 3, let's see what that changes. So we'll go here. And it's set to transparent. So I'm going to make it so it's not transparent. And I still haven't been able to figure out, oh, there it is right there. It highlighted the category. So that's what it is right there, is it highlights the category. Okay. And then color 4, let's change it to blue. And that's going to change the page selection button color. And then color 5 is going to change, let's see, let me go orange. It's going to change the color of the read more button. Is that right? It actually changes the color of the read more button, which it shouldn't, but it changes the text color on the actual buttons for the pages. Okay. So you can see I've actually asked them to put the names of exactly what they affect. So those will probably be changing really soon as they change those to exactly what they affect. But you can see that allows you to actually really hone in on the colors of your website so they match your website. Now, if we're talking about an evergreen that you're going to be selling to different companies like lawyers, then you'd want it a very generic, right? Like white with black text and not a lot of different colors that would clash against standard colors that you have for a website. So for an evergreen, you'd keep it just a basic neutral color so it could go with any website. But for you guys building for your own website and you want to create consistency across your design for your website, you now have complete control over all of it. On the sizes, I can manage the size of the thumbnail width and height, content width and height. So see how I can change that? So I can change that here. I can change the width of it. I can change the title height. It's not changing the font, it's changing the height of the area where the title's at. So see how the height of it, where the title's at. Then I can change the title width. I can change the button padding. So that's the space around the button, or I can reduce it. Button padding for the width. I can change the button height. So I can make it really tall or not so tall. Button width. The card is this individual card for the article. So I can change that. And that's the height. It's not changing for me, don't know why. And then I've got the power of rounding the borders for the card, for the thumbnail, or for the button. So well, let's change the card. So I'll go 50 and 50 and 50 and 50. So notice that the card is the inside article area, right? So each article, that if I had more than one article, each article would have rounded corners. Now we'll look at the thumbnail. So I'm going to go 20, 20, 20, and 20. And see right there, the image thumbnail. I've got rounded corners now. Okay. And then the button right here. So I'm going to go 30, 30, 30, 30. And so now I've got rounded corners for the button. Okay, so you can see that I'm able to really hone in on a lot of stuff that I can change to make it really unique. The title style. So here's the title right here. So I can change the font. I can change the font size. I can change what the font size is going to be on mobile. This is going to be really important when you're checking your mobile version. You can change that font size on your mobile. You can change the color of the font. That's even better. You can change it to be bold, italic, or underline. And you can even do a text decoration like an overline or a line through or an underline or none. So the content style, that's this area right here. That's the content. So for the content style, I can do all the same things. I can change the font. I can change the font size. That's crazy. We'll go back down a little. There we go. I can change the font size that's on mobile. I can change the font color, just like that. I can bold it, italicize it, underline it. I can choose text decoration. And then the button style. So I can change the font of the button. I can change the color. I can change the font style, black. And I can bold it if I want to, and then do some text decoration. And then for the author style, so when I hover over here and I see the author, I can actually change that to a different font family, different size on mobile, different color. And then the categories. So over here where it says category, I can change that style. And then down here where we've got some advanced features, I can work on layering, and I can even save the element to use again at another time. So if I like this design and I want to use it on a different page for a news feed, I can actually save this item and put it on a different page if I want to. So I can save it as a personal element. Okay. So those are all the items that if I click on this and get the settings, those are the settings to change colors and stuff like that. But if you notice, I've got this mini toolbar up here. So I've got some other things I can change as well. So if I take a look at the mini toolbar, the first item is I can save this as a personal element. so I can use it again in another page. That's the same thing as when I go down here to the bottom and save it as a personal element. Same exact thing. If I click this little pencil icon, that just opens the settings for me so I can work on the settings. If I click this center element, it's going to center it on the page for me. So if I need it centered, I can actually do that by just clicking that center. The next one is to do some settings on this. We'll look at that in just a second. Then I've got clone element. So if I want to create this element again, I can actually do that. I wouldn't want to do that on a newsfeed, but if I wanted to, I could. If I want to hide this element so that I don't see it, I can click hide. And it's hidden that element, but it's not gone away. It's just moved it out of the way for a minute. And if I can work on stuff and then I want it back, all I do is click on this little eyeball right here. And there's my post. I can click on that and bring it back, hopefully. Let me move this over. There we go. Click on the eyeball and that makes it return. Okay, so that's a hidden element and I can move it out of the way for a minute if I'm working on something and then bring it back. Excuse me. If I wanted to delete this element, I could delete it. If I accidentally deleted it and I'm like, oh crap, I deleted that thing. Where do I get that again? To get it again, all I need to do is actually go into this sidebar and I go to add elements. And then I look at all the different blog elements. And this is a blog feed. So right here on the blog feed, if I click that, I've got several different blog feeds I can grab from and use to do a blog feed. Okay, so if I accidentally delete it, there they are right there. And I can bring it over and configure it again. Okay, but the main thing we're going to look at is actually this little star. If I click that, it actually gives me the ability to edit some more things about how the news feed is going to display. So the first one is the theme, and I've got simple, clean, hover, or list. So play with those and see what each one of them look like. And we'll stick with list for right now, but each one of the themes are a little bit different in the way they organize a news feed. The next one is the read more text. So on that button right there, what do you want that button to say? Do you want it to say read more? So if I click on that star again and open it up, I can actually change it and I can say something like see entire blog. No, see entire article. There we go. And if I click save, we've got that on there. I'd have to make that button a little bit bigger for it to look right. So let's see if we can go button style and no, I think it was up here, sizes and button width. And I can stretch it out some like that. And there we go. So that works. Okay. So it takes a little bit of bouncing around when you're working with it, but I love that we have the power to do just about anything you want to with it. So click the star again. And now we've got the date format. So right now it's saying the year.
Kelly,
oh, sorry, go ahead. Question?
Can you have them fix that so it's English?
Yes, I will. Actually, I just took an image of it like a couple hours ago. For the date format, it's in like what they like to do in Brazil, but we in the States actually something like, right? And then so you choose that either the shortened version or the lengthened version. I'll choose the shortened version. And then right here, I've requested that they change this, but the first one is the information that they're going to display about the article. So do you want them to show on the newsfeed who the author is? Do you want them to show when this article was posted? Now this goes back to evergreen, okay? You can have articles that you've written and you post 100 articles to your blog in one day, and you can uncheck show date and they will never know that you posted them all on the same day. Okay, so that's part of how you create an evergreen blog so that you don't have to keep adding content every single day. You can also uncheck show categories so the categories don't show. You can uncheck show content so it only has the share image in the title. You can uncheck show thumbnail so it doesn't show that share image thumbnail. And you can uncheck show button so it doesn't even show the button. So all of these are options that you can do to show information about the article on the newsfeed. And then here you can say how many you want to show on the newsfeed. So you can say, I want 15 of the blog articles to show, and I want them to show them all, or I want to show all of them except the ones that are featured. Now, why would you not want the ones featured? Because you go up here to this top one, remember the slider that we have? You could have the slider showing the feature ones, and then the list down at the bottom of the newsfeed showing all the rest of them. Okay, so this is just a way to kind of separate out those special ones versus the regular ones. Okay, so you can actually do that. So if I click
Excuse me,
save,
Shelley, can you let Tyree back in, please? He fell off.
Yeah. Hang on just a second. Let me stop sharing. There we go. We'll get them in. There we go. Woo! Glad we got them back. All right, so you can see now that we've got a lot of power. Now this is just the newsfeed page, right? So this is how you're going to set up what it looks like. Usually this is the first page that the people hit on your blog, so they can pick which blog article they want to go to. Okay, so we've set this up. We'll click save, and then that's fine. And so now our blog feed page is fixed. Now we need to go to the blog post page so we can see how to set up what our blog post is going to look like. So I'm going to go back to my website, and I'm going to go to the blog post page, and here I'm going to click edit page.
And
I'm going to do, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Shelly, and that's where we were talking about, that's the bucket itself.
This is the bucket. So here's the cool thing, you guys, and this is what makes it so exciting, is this right here is the dynamic changing content, but everything around it is static. So everything around it stays the same. So I can put a header there. I can put a footer. I can make this smaller. Let me see if I can shrink it here. I can make it smaller. So now, Steve, I have the ability to put my sidebar right here. And guess what? This is the skeleton. So every time they open this post page, the content here will be different depending on what article they're going to, but the sidebar stays the same. So you can make it once, and it is for every single blog post. Yeah, is that exciting or what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
major, because in terms of branding, this is very, very important. So in terms of having your site, your brand colors, the banners, you can add banners, AdSense, you can add so much more, and you don't have to worry about redoing it for every article that you do. So
that's exactly right, Chris. And I can hear in Chris and his voice the excitement that I'm feeling like in my tummy right now, because I get tummy tickles thinking about this blog feature and how it works. It is really, really exciting. And what you're going to get here is this part right here. All it is the blog post. It's an individual blog post. When I click on it, you'll see that it says post right there. Okay. So I'm clicking on it, and I'm going to get the settings on the side. This is what I can do to change what this post looks like. So remember, I can do anything I want to all around the outside of the post. And now I'm going to edit the inside, the content area of the post, to make it match what I have on the outside. Okay. So I can go in and change the size of it. I can change the colors, and we've got color 1, 2, and 3. So let's see if we can get some Mardi Gras colors going. So on color 1, you can see that that's the background of the post. And color 2, color 2. Color 2, we'll change it to a yellow or yellow green. And I don't know what that is. See if we can find it. Yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green. Don't know what it is. We'll pretend like we know. Let me change it to a weird color, and we'll see if we can find it. So purpley color. No, I don't see where it's at. It might be somewhere in there. Not sure. But color 2 is changing something. We just don't know what it is. And then color 3, we'll check out that one and see what it changes. And that is the category buttons right there. Okay. So each one of these change a different area. And I have asked them to rename these according to the exact area that they change. So you'll be seeing that change hopefully really soon. And then the title. So here's the title right here. So if I click title style, we can choose the font size on mobile. We can choose the color of the font, and then we can bold, italicize, and then we can center it the way we want to, and even do a text decoration. And then the author style. So there's the author right there. And I can change the font style, the size, the mobile size, the color. And then on category, there's the categories right there. I can change the font, the size, bold, italicize, and text decoration. And then on advanced, I can save this as an element and even put it on a different page if I want to. So that is how I affect the colors of everything. Okay. Chris, go ahead.
Okay, so right there, with the actual text, you said you can change the font of the content text itself? So
the content itself, no. The content itself is what we do when we create the post.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
That's another reason why you would create a template, right? Because if you don't create a template and define what your font size is, there's potential that you forget, and the next post you create is going to have a different font size. So you definitely want to create a template with the exact font size you want to use and all that, so that you can just pull it in real quick. It's got everything you need and it's ready to go.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So we've changed all these things in the settings, but remember, we also have this mini toolbar, right? So we can save the element. We can click on the little pencil to get the settings on the side. We can center this element on the page. We'll go into settings in just a second. We can duplicate this item, we can hide this item, or we can delete this item. I'm going to go into the little star, And on the star, we've got some things that we can turn on or off. So on the display area, we can choose to not show the categories, not show the author, and not show the date. Again, this goes back to evergreen, right? If you want an evergreen blog, then you can turn off the date and they'll never know what day you added those blog entries. They'll never know, right? If you do want the date, then you can format the date the way you want it. You can show the social media bar. Let me show that to you because again, this is another one that when I saw it on there, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And here it is right here. So every single blog article has this on there if you have this checked, and people can click and share it directly to Facebook. They can capture the link. They can send it by email. They can send it to Twitter, to Pinterest, or to LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, that is so incredible. So that's another huge thing that will help get you traffic is people can now share that really, really easily because that social bar is there. If you don't want the social bar, which I would be calling you crazy if you didn't want it, you can uncheck it and it will remove it. You can also on the social bar say, I don't want them to be able to share it by email. I don't want them to be able to get the URL. I don't want them to be able to share it to Facebook. So you can specifically say where you want them to be able to share it to. Okay, so lots of great stuff. And then
Shirley,
on the social bar,
does it comes with a share image?
yes, when you set up that thumbnail, that's the share image. Okay. Then on the social bar itself, you can align it to the left, center, or right of your article. And then you can actually choose a theme for your social bar. So it can be a square or a circle. So there's the circle. And then I'll put it back to square so you can see the difference. Right? So great, you guys. So now you can see that there's a ton of power in being able to have this social bar on there. I think it's fabulous to be able to make it look exactly like you want it. And this is actually just the beginning. So what we've covered tonight is the setting up and connecting your blog. We've looked at the blog feed page. We've looked at the blog post page. That's enough to get you started in creating your blog. So here's what we're going to go over next week. And this is what's going to blow your mind. So next week, when we meet, we're going to go into the add area and we're going to go to elements and we're going to look at each one of these blog elements. So we're going to look at blog featured, blog feed news, blog general, blog groups, blog list, blog post. All of those we're going to take and we're going to use them on pages that are not one of the blog pages. Okay. So just to give you an idea, we can actually go to this home page, which is not a blog page, and we can add any element we want to that home page to simulate it like it's a blog page. Okay, and then we have control over those elements to only show certain blog posts. Like we can filter out categories, we can only show the featured, we can only show for a certain author. Y'all, it is really exciting. So I can't wait to go over the blog elements with you so you can see how powerful the blog elements are as well. So that's really all I wanted to cover tonight. Do you guys have any questions for me on the blog itself? Go ahead, Chip, and then I'll get Greg.
Did you or will you cover RSS feeds?
I will absolutely cover RSS, but it's actually really simple. If you take the main domain name of your blog and then do a slash and do RSS, I think that's all you have to do is RSS. It might be rss.xml, but I can't remember for sure. But if you put that at the end, it will pull up the RSS feed. It's automatically created for you when you create the blog.
Thank you.
Let's test that, shall we? Let's test that. So I'm going to go to share screen. And here's my homepage. So I'm going to just go to website. Click it. So this is my empty homepage. There's not a thing on it. And I'm going to go to the end and I'm going to take out home and I'm going to type in RSS and see if that works. Yep, that's it. So there's the RSS feed right there. And if you'll notice, it's got information about the site. And then right here, the first item is my first blog entry, Shelly Loves TikTok. So all it is your domain name, whatever your domain name is for your home page. Take off the home page, the end URL, because you don't want it to say home, but then put RSS at the end of it and it will pull up your RSS feed.
So when someone clicks on the symbol, it will automatically update them when there's a new article posted?
Yeah, and this is valuable because if they want to connect to your RSS feed and pull your articles and put them in their own blog, they can do that. You just have to give them this link and it will do it for them. Okay. All right. Greg, I think you were next.
Yeah, and from the day they release the blog to us generals here until 2 minutes ago. 5 times to support, I could not, or they could not explain to me why I couldn't see my post on the post page.
Oh, okay. And now do you know?
Well, now I know I never will.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but if they'd have said, you explained it perfectly, but for some people that don't understand blogging very well, like I don't, I made a post and it didn't appear on the post page, and
Oh,
I
I
spent
see it. I
2
see, I
weeks
see.
trying to figure out why, and
Yeah.
5 emails to support going, it's not working.
Let me show everybody, because I think they may not exactly know, but I think you can verify if I know exactly what you said. So I'm
Okay.
going to share the screen. And what it sounds like you were doing is in here, you were going to the website. And there's nothing there.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing anything.
Right. The reason there's nothing there is because we don't have the rest of the link to be able to go to the database and pull the content.
Well, also when I went to edit the post page, I was seeing this foreign language here.
Yeah.
And I wasn't seeing the post that I actually made, which I expected to see there. And I couldn't figure out why and what I was doing wrong. So I just stopped.
Right, right. Well, what's happening is here, I want you to notice something is here, it only says post at the end of this link. So it's literally taking you to the page, but there's nothing that tells you where to go in the database to get the article and bring it back. So it's giving you the skeleton, right?
Yeah.
But if I go here to the feed page and click go to website, now I see that post, right? I see that post in the news feed. And if I click entire article, I'm going to that same exact post page I was on. But if you notice at the end, I now have the slug that tells the computer to go to the database and pull the information back. So now my article is in that post page.
Yeah, but there was no explanation. Support couldn't even get the message across to me.
Yeah,
they just said it's working, and I said I don't see it. It's my post's not there.
They may not understand really how to explain it. It's a different
concept. You did a good job. Now I can move forward because I was stuck. I just stopped. I've been,
Good. Yeah, it's working beautifully.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a little snag that I'm sure a lot of people would get stuck on, because that really is going out. It's using that same exact page for every single blog post.
Yeah.
And just pulling that information in.
Yeah, and you make a post and it looks really nice, and then you go to the post page and it's not there.
Right. Exactly. Here's the other thing I want to show you too. Let me go back to that page, because somebody was saying, can you send them directly to that post? Yes, you can. All you need is that specific URL, right, where it says Shelly loves TikTok. And if you click and copy that entire URL and give that to the person, they're going to be able to go back to that exact post, because the end of that URL has Shelly loves TikTok, and it's looking at that to go to the database and pull the data and put it on the page. Okay, so you absolutely can send them a very specific URL that will send them to the exact right page with the content on it. Okay, does that help? Yeah, go ahead, Bonnie.
When are you going to be updating the little short videos that you do for the knowledge base on the blog?
They're coming. We've got a couple things that are changing, so I'm kind of holding off, because like the colors, remember when I was showing the colors and it says color 1, color 2, color 3, I'm kind of waiting for them to put those in. And there's a couple of other things that it's not descriptive enough, so I'm waiting on those so that it makes sense when I shoot the videos. But as soon as we get those, we're going to have a boatload of videos coming out for the blog. And plus, we've got comments coming. There's a couple of other little things that they're adding, and I'd like those in too before we do the actual training.
Any idea when the comments are coming?
No, I don't have a real good clue, actually. They tell me, but every time they tell me a date, we go past that date. So
it's like an Eric date.
Yeah, exactly. James says in the RSS feed, there's no blog content. We can only see the blog post title. When we've shown the description part where the article content should be, I haven't looked myself, just mentioning it. Yeah, that's partly, James, what we're talking about when we get that short description. That needs to go in there as well. So we're talking to the developers about getting that shorter description to go with the share link and with the RSS feed. Yep. Linda, go ahead.
Okay, maybe I'm hoping you can help me, because support, we're kind of lost. I don't know what I did. It might be a setting somewhere, but I made my post, and on the feed page, it shows up in the banner, but it says no article. I've disconnected, reconnected. I don't know if if I toggle the switch somewhere, but it definitely shows like my featured image, my thumbnail, like in the banner on top, but then underneath it says, I have no articles. Do you know what I might have done?
No, I probably have to look at it specifically to see which element that you're using and what settings that you have, because there's some settings on those elements, which we'll go over next week, that you
Okay.
can accidentally grab the wrong thing and it looks like it's supposed to pull, but it won't pull anything. Because you said pull it
Okay.
with featured or without featured. And so that affects what it's going to pull for a feed. So let's definitely, if you can't figure it out by next week, let's take a look at it together next week.
Okay. And one other, so if I'm like starting over and I'm disconnecting, I'm making a new site, is it holding those settings of the mistakes I made from a previous one maybe? Because at one time it was there. And then I'm like, oh, okay, now that I figured it out, let me do it again because I want to do it better. And I think I hit something, but it doesn't seem like maybe if I did, it's not releasing what I did, but I guess we'll figure it out next week.
And I wish I could tell you for sure, but I'd really have to dig into it. And there are a couple settings in those elements. And it's unfortunate, but I don't have every single element memorized yet. I will, by next Tuesday I will. But right now it's kind of all a bunch of jumbled up pictures in my brain because I haven't worked with it enough to have them all memorized. But by next week on Tuesday, I bet you I can nail it in a second.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Davida and then Cindy.
Okay. Okay. The thing is that when I had a couple of websites that were set over on Pixel Perfect, and when I moved them over and I moved the blogs over and I just put them into the feed and into the post, it just showed up immediately. You know, and it just figured, it just kind of came over the way it was originally.
Yeah, the import feature from Pixel Perfect to the Cheetah blog is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I pulled a blog over and I think I actually wept. It's that good. Yeah, it's lovely. So thank you, Davida. That was really good. Go ahead, Cindy.
All right, two quick ones, I hope. So is there a way in the tab to change the favicon on the blog from the world, little gray world?
Let me think about that. Let's take a look. Let's go to share screen. And if it's possible, let's see, here's the blog page. Here's the settings like any other page. If I go to settings, there's the general settings, integration, page script, SEO settings, pop-up settings, header settings, footer settings. So let me look at general settings again, initial no. So I don't see it. So can you do me a favor, Cindy? Mm-hmm. That's one that I haven't thought about yet. So can you remind me in a text message, or not text, but Facebook Messenger, just send me a quick note. Shelly, what about the favicons on the blog page? And I'll get that to the developers. Okay.
My second question goes back to where you were showing the SEO, and it had the checkbox where if you do custom SEO, you put the tags in and the keywords.
Right.
If you do not do custom, is there default that's pulling from the blog for you?
Yes, and that's at the blog level. So you can do that, the blog SEO settings at the top blog level, or you can set it on the page level. So
okay, so either way you're putting it in.
Yes, either way you're putting it in. So let's talk about that in a minute. So if I set it at the blog level, then that means every single page is going to be set to have those same meta tags and keywords. Okay. But if I set it at the page level, that means it's going to override what's in the blog at the blog level and keep it at the page level. So you have a lot of power. We're talking about a lot of power to be able to set it either at the blog level, so every single page is already set, or set it at the page level so you can make one page maybe different, more SEO heavy or lighter SEO heavy, or different keywords, whatever you want to do to try to change it for that page. But for me, I think if I'm setting up a blog, I would set it at the blog level and not try to set it at the page level for every single page.
But what are their different categories? Wouldn't you want to do that though?
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
Okay.
If you want to do it for different categories, you absolutely can. Yes.
All right, thank you. I'll send you the Facebook message.
Yeah, there's another thing that I wanted to show you guys, because this is actually really important, and this question has popped up. I want you to notice that on this website, the home page is this page right here. And I've had a lot of people say, what if I want to build a blog and I don't want a page to be the home page? I want the actual newsfeed page to be my home page. So if you want the blog feed page to be your home page, So first of all, you'd never set the post page to be your home page because it doesn't have the information it needs to pull the content in, right? You have to go to this page by clicking on another page. So you never, everybody write this down, write it on your forehead. So when you look at it in the mirror in the morning, you know it. Never set the post page as your home page. But for the feed page, that would be a great homepage for a domain, like say blog.shellyturner.com, right? So to do that, all I do is click on these triple dots right here and go to settings. And then right here in the general settings where it says initial, it's the same thing as the home page. It's the initial page. So if I change this to yes, that means that now this blog feed page, if they type in my domain, is going to be the first page they land on. Okay? That's actually been asked quite a bit by people is how do I set my blog as the homepage? I don't want it to go to a different page, to a different homepage. So that's how you do it. You set your blog feed page as the initial or homepage, and then you've got that set up. Okay. All right, Stacy, go ahead.
Thank you. I have two questions. Maybe I'm missing something, but earlier when there were two different things that were said, one was something about renting, not when we talk about the evergreen blog idea, but someone talked about renting the blog and using your Builderall account and putting a blog on someone else's page. And you all thought it was a good idea, but if I just want to make sure I'm not missing something. So for $10 a month, if you don't sell them Builderall, then you're losing out on your commission on Builderall. So I was a little confused. I didn't think that made any sense. If I'm providing somebody with a blog and a website and tools, whether they use them or not, this is my basic fee. It's $69 a month plus the extra for the blog. So just a perspective, and I just want to make sure maybe I wasn't missing something. So did I understand it clearly, Shelley?
Yeah. What I would see is like, let's say that I had a hair salon place that says I would really like just a simple blog with 10 articles on hair care, so I can connect that to my website. Well, 10 articles on hair care, I can sneeze 10 articles out, right? Watch you, there's 10 articles right there. So I can put those on a blog in my account. Now on their website, I can have them put just a link to it that says blog, and it comes into that blog and shows, like it's their website, shows those articles. So I can choose to do that for a fee as an agency, or I can say you have to have a Builderall account. We'll put it on a Builderall. Either way. You see what I'm saying? So you can do it either as an agency and a service that you provide because you're using Builderall, or you can say you need to have an account with Builderall and you need the blog, and this is the premium account that you need to have. So either way, it's really it depends on you and what you want to do.
And then, thank you. And I get it. I get it. So the other question is this, it's not exactly about this, but it's about Cheetah and Builderall in general. One of the things that I didn't notice, and again, unless I'm missing it, I don't see that there's even, it should be an app to me by itself, but even though you put images in your gallery in and of itself, or media, again, unless I'm wrong, is not a separate app or something you have access to. And I feel like it should be. So the other day, I wanted a picture actually to download and use for something else that I had in my Builderall account on a particular website. I had to open up I could open up any website and then go to it and see it there, but I couldn't, there's no direct link to my media or my gallery or my content that I have on Builderall, again, unless I'm missing something. Is there?
Right, it's in the digital file repository. And when you have it in the digital file repository, you have to click like you're something and add what else there. But there's great program extension that you can get. It's called Gallerify. Let me type the name in the chat for you. Gallerify. It is a Chrome extension, and what it does is it allows you to go to any website, and when you click the extension, it will pull up, I think this is the right one, it will pull up all of the images on the website, and then once you see all the images, you can download the ones you want, either individually or all of them at the same time. Now, this is hugely valuable, and here's why. Because there are 50 bazillion templates out there that Builderall has. And I've been guilty of this where I'm like, okay, I want the images from that template, but I want the icons from that template, and I want the whatever from that template. So all I do is pull them up like they're live on the internet, right? So I pull them up like they're live. Then I go to Gallerify and pull off the ones that I want and then use them on my own.
Right, and that's fine as a third party, yeah, but for all that we have in Builderall, it just seems like it would just make sense that there be some kind of media depository or repository where we can just get our stuff, everything that we have, no matter which app we're in or what tool we're using. Even if we're using, what's the other thing where we can go in and put pictures inside, like say a computer, and then you can put your own words in. I forget
Oh,
what
yeah,
that one.
mock-up.
Mockup, right. So for example, that's the perfect point. So if I'm in mockup, I already have stuff in my gallery, my repository, both of them. I should be able to access that stuff, not have to go upload it again, or amongst all the tools that you can use. If I'm in the e-learning and I'm setting up an e-learning thing, my images or should already be there, and I should be able to access it. So it's just a request, really, is what I'm saying. For
Yeah,
that,
here's what I would suggest, Stacey, and it's a really, really good idea. I would suggest that you put that in a written format and get that to support, and support will get it to developers. But here's the thing. Gosh, that sounded like Eric. Here's the thing. But we've got 38 tools right now, and not all the tools are written in the same language. Not all the tools were original content that Builderall created. Some of them were tools that we bought the code. We brought it in, we changed the code a little bit to make it Builderall, and then we put it on there. So as much as I say I would love to have that happen, the reality is that not all the programs are written in the same code, and they're not all able to be cross-pollinated like that. So my answer to you is it probably will not happen, because they're all so different that I think it would be a real challenge for the developers to be able to do that, for sure. I know that's not a good answer for you, but that's an honest answer.
It was a mailing boss. I was in so many different places. I'm like, wait, shouldn't I just be able to go to one spot? But okay, I understand it. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. That was the honest answer. Mike, question?
I've got a quick question, Shelly. Okay. When you're actually in the feed and you have the read more button, and you click on that button, it goes to the post. All right. How do I get back to the blog?
Well, that's easy. You just create your header at the top, whatever header you want, and put your menu on there so you can get back to there.
Look, hey, they designed a platform for you all. What you want, what you need is Builderall. Build it up, we just answering your call. We're the one-stop shop if your back's against the wall. Yeah, you're a Builderall rock star. Hey, you can build it all, go hard. Sign up and you'll see we got it all. We're the one-stop shop if your back's against the wall. Look, if you're trying to build the name of your brand, they came with a plan, get your name in demand. With Builderall, you can save your day in advance. Keep the apps automated so you barely need to glance. Listen, think of all the power that you hold. It's a new globe, everyone is grabbing for their phones. Imagine the control, build your passion on your own. And the more that you connect, the more attraction they will show. Not only a sales funnel, look, this is more advanced. This will help you compete, but have the upper hand. Keep your products in demand. It's all in one spot. You don't have to calculate and feel afraid with your thoughts. Automate your response. Drag and drop your site, or click map your fans, see the pages they like, or use the video wrap or capture their sites. Design your own app from scratch, just how you like. Yeah, they designed a platform for you all. What you want, what you need is Builderall. Build it up, we just answering your call. We're the one-stop shop if your back's against the wall. Yeah, you're a Builderall rock star. Hey, you can build it all, go hard. Sign up and you'll see we got it all. We're the one-stop shop if your back's against the wall. Design with y'all in mind, let entrepreneurs shine. Tired of the 9 to 5, you starting your own grind, and it's alright. They got the tools you need. The connection they designed is truly unique. Never been able to express my views with ease. I move, release, double click, and ooh, I'm pleased. My clients as well, tired of the hoops and leaps. Too many things in the way of my truth and dreams. A Builderall rock star is what you really are. Tune in on the internet will make you a star. You don't need to study hard, all it takes is a start. Work every day and move higher till you way off chart. Stay on, never sleep on none of the apps. It's a free sign up just so you know in advance. Builderall's for the legends, nothing's holding you back. You got the tools and the plan, you can stay on track. Believe that. They designed a platform for you all. What you want, what you need is Builderall. Build it up, we just answering your call. We're the one-stop shop if your back's against the wall. Yeah, you're a Builderall rock star. Hey, you can build it all, go hard. Sign up and you'll see we got it all. We're the one-stop shop if your back's against the wall.